start anytime. Shalom Aleichem. We're here talking about today the middle of the Mishkan, which is one of the dilemmas. One of the dilemmas that you have in the parasha. If it's die, it means it's enough. Hoisa means it's extra. How does enough and extra work together? So the Harchim starts. Chaim explains that that actually was too much. It became an S. For some reason, it all went in. And some say that every carpenter, every Malach usually needs some extra tiles. This was exactly, it's dying. If something goes wrong, we can still use the Chassidische tiles. That was really too much. Why was that? Because anyone that would go by the Mishkan will say, you see this is my money. So suddenly there was too much money, and nobody was sure that his money got in there. That's why Kuzbach wanted to ask you, nobody should feel that he's the boss house. But I saw Svasemis last week, it's in Parshas Vayakel to Faish, he says, Hoyse is not talking about this too much physically. Hoyse is more emotionally. Sometimes you do a shidduch, and before you do the shidduch, you're not happy, you want more, you want more, you want more. After the shidduch, why did I do this shidduch? Could have done something better. It's in all kinds of people themselves fear. Sometimes they're hoist, they don't feel that it needed. Or sometimes they feel they didn't do enough. There's that feeling of hoist all the time in that person, which is a normal feeling, as we call it. Shloime, Shloime, Ari, and Shmulik. People are sitting there, you know that we're sitting here with a few people, and anyone that wants to ask him can ask him. The Shloime asked for a question. He has a friend that's following me a lot of years. Because he doesn't want to give up. He still feels he's strong enough to see that he's the boss. Mm-hmm. So I told him, one of the things Pusha taught me in day one, there's no strong people. If you're strong, it's like nice and lay off chaos. You're not strong. But because you want your way, use it up. At the end of the day, you're going to use it up, and you never work. You're always working on physically. You are never working on mentally. By the time the physical goes down, the mental was never tempered. It was never worked with, and suddenly those inner feelings are still there. And, I use a famous story. There was a fire in Flatbush. I forgot the name of it. 7 children were burnt. Sassoon. The father was away in Manhattan, and the police picked him up, and they told him slowly. And they saw his. Later on, people asked him, "We saw you were very strong. You made the levias, and you had spade, and you didn't let anyone do anything. You did everything." I asked him, "Tell me, are you such a strong person?" He said, "Strong? I'm a very weak person." When the police came to tell me that Shiur had to decide if I'm strong or weak, I decided that I'm weak. So every second, I felt somebody's helping me, giving me a hand. If I would decide that I'm strong, I wouldn't keep on for long. So actually, you have to know, whatever a person does, he's always bounded with his understanding. He's bounded with his doing. Machshuv dibber masa. There's never, he does a thing that he's sure that whatever he does is 100%, whatever he thinks 100%. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings it that way, b'chavuna. Sfasemis explains it. Lama nik Yisrael shu lamis. Lama nik Yisrael shu lamis explains the Sfasemis. Shulamis means that melech shashulim shaloi. Since we are so fragile, we call it, and we meet our fragility all along. It's with the children. So they are speak v'heishav leiv, always al bunim. Rashi says in this part, al yidei abunim. So you have a problem with children, you think the children are the problem. No. Rashi says, v'heishav leiv always. You have a problem with children, so take care of I'll take care of yourself. And leiv bunim ala voisim. If you have parents that you don't get along with them, so the leiv bunim has to think. I would say, the one that has the problem, I can help. The one that doesn't have the problem, I can't help. Mm-hmm. So if you have a problem, so
we're always at fault.
If you feel that's a problem, it's part of you. So the Buddha says, as long as a person does not take part, that he has to put in work into this. And it even says sometimes, it says in one of the Mechturim, sometimes you see a child doing stupid things, not right, but don't tell him, because he's just going to get even more angry at you. But he's doing stupid things. I have news for you. Who taught him to do stupid things? There must be somewhere along the line that he learned it from you. Mm. So what's going to happen now? If he knows that he's doing stupid things, and he'll see you're accepting him even stupid things, because you want to give him affirmation, you want to give him koiches imun, you want to believe in him. They call it non-conditional love, they call it these days. And he knows how hard you have to work for that. That might change something in his mind. And start thinking, maybe I also change myself. As long as you put up a fight, they're stronger, whoever it is. The one that has the problem is weaker, let's put it that way. The one that's making the trouble things. And it's the Sfasemis says, Lama nik Yisrael shulamis, melech shashulim shaloi. He not the only ones, then what matzah they are at any time, they will always have that feeling that something is missing, but they won't lose it because of that. Why? Because Ayid is connected to Chelik Lekayim Yamah. As the Buddha said, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives it to you b'chavuna, on purpose, that you should always be missing something. So from that missing, you feel like a gomel ala ima, like a baby on the mother's hand. So that actually gives you the connection to the Bunshlim. Without that helplessness, without that vulnerability, you'll never always go around koichi voitzim yudi. What's your sachayil hazeh? But a person has all kinds of vulnerability. His own feelings, his own stress. And he has people outside that are not nice to him. And then we call it oilam shul nefesh. There's certain places I don't find myself. Certain times I don't find myself. But not Pesach. All houses become dilapidated. People don't feel good. And there's certain people that I meet, and I just can't take it. So one of the tzaddikim said that you respect Baran Kotler and Moshe Feinstein, that not kol ahavas yisur yet. It's a normal it's a normal procedure that you respect a great person, that you respect your father and mother, that they go along with you in Ashur Malach and Yeshua. It's very tight here. Everything's good. Drink some water. That you expect people are nice to you, that's not called a house. After that, something has to be measured with, even though you don't find yourself there, how do I say? Usually we all want, did you ever see this?
I didn't see. No, what is it?
No.
Oh, wow. What is the year? So that's what they give them up.
This is for the Rebbe?
This is for you.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
From
the Rebbe?
No. This is, if you like it, I'll tell you what it is. And if you don't like it, but that's Spinka.
So far, I like it. First two words,
Okay.
we're off to a good start.
It's the one that made the 52 stories, 68 stories.
From Tiberia.
So
Oh.
he made this one of the best, yeah.
Oh, the stories. I love it. I've been through that many times.
So this is another book in this
Oh,
class.
wow. Oh, wow. Thank you.
I think you like it. It's not in English, but so a person after that you love a person that's good with you. The whole avoid is after we all would need an exempt of 15 people that we should let us out of that after that. The Torah gives no exemption. You have to accept everyone, even the ones. So how does it work? Nobody picks up his hand here because Baruch wasn't masking. You have a whole accounting up there. It's a mail just like a shliach when the melech comes, when the king, you're happy that he gives you the kulid. It's the same thing. So a very nice story, one of the Rebbes, so one of the Rebbes, someone came in, he has a very big temper. He can't control himself. He wants the Rebbe to give him an Eitzah. So the Rebbe said, you know what that means? You have a big temper, you can't control yourself. So the Rebbe told him, sit outside and we'll see what we do. Meantime, all the more people came in. Every person that came in, the Rebbe said, when you go out, you see the guy sitting there in the shirt, doing some mischief or mishap, or get him angry. Then ask him Mechila. So why not? Everyone going out with that chapter, we call it, Kitzum. And then the Irish said, I'm sorry. And he told everyone, no, it's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, after 10 people, the Rebbe calls him in. No, you see, you can control your temper. So he says, no, I heard how the Rebbe is telling these people to do it. So I know what's coming. So the Rebbe is not telling these people to do it.
Okay, it's a good story.
That means I must correct always in my helplessness, in my vulnerability. It's actually a opportunity to connect to my higher power, we call that. Which is by the higher power is the Rebbe. It's not that I'm disconnected and have to connect. I am connected, but mentally, in the moon, I cannot connect because the Kodesh Baruch Hu is Eine Guf, Eine Mesiga Guf. The rational understanding doesn't work. So I have to go into Emunah. But nobody's going to go into Emunah only if he's forced to go into Emunah. Bal kol hachatochai. There's a word from the Gulen that says Bal kol hachatochai, Bal kol hatonivru, Bal kol hatomez, Bal kol hatosetum v'chezru. So one of the Hashem asks, if everything I'm forced into, so why do I have to give them v'chezru for? So the Gulen says, yeah, it was a kol hatomez, we had to force you to die. It was so gefährlich here, why do you have to force you? Elma, you had a shtikla nur here, so we'll give you accounting what you did have in one. And with everything the Rosh used to say, it's only about kochach atuchai. You only get to the Rinshloim when you're forced. What just forced? When it says, Ein Adam loimed, Eile b'mokum, sheliba chofetz, only where his heart wants to learn. Well, his heart has to do with emotions. Heart has nothing to do with sechel. But in order to learn something, I have to want to learn. So, Amin is one of the things, the last things people are ready to talk about it, and ready to say it, see other people say Amin. But when they're going through a turmoil, a stress, if it's friends, if it's themselves, if it's, as I said, place, people, time, and then they have to go into Amunah. What does Amunah mean? Amunah means that all the way up from where we come from, there is no me and you. No, well, you're taking my place now, and I'm taking your place. This is only in this world. But I'm sitting here, you can't sit here, and you're sitting there, and I can't sit there. But from where we all come from, we're all one, all the same place, all the same time. So when a person gets nervous that he has to get somewhere, a minute is not something, an illusion. It's called a damchu, it's called a chanchu, it's called a dimyan, but it's emes lamitre. So to take down the pressure of your to go further, to bring yourself out what you can do, and to come to places that you can get much higher than you are. That's helping you. Benameitza kuzika. Only when I have that hardship, I have that mischief, I have that vulnerability, and I must do something with it. Because we know there's a famous story, they say there's a lady going with a child, and the child went under a car. They say, in English, she picked it up. Why did she pick it up? Because she saw a danger, and when she saw a danger, her heart wanted to, so suddenly we bring out all kinds of kochas that we didn't know that are there through this danger. So the Busha always was talking about living the sakuna, living the danger. Because if a person does not live this, means everybody's talking about the Rebbeinu Shalom, everybody's busy with the Rebbeinu Shalom. We're davening 3 times a day to the Rebbeinu Shalom. But the question is when the thermal starts burning, the gas starts going up, the temperature starts going up. And so what we trying to do, says the Busha, either we go into FKS, Rבינו Shalom, just skip just pass that bypass, they call this, there's a mini bypass, you go to the Rבינו Shalom, but you don't take care of the feelings as we call it. Or you go into use, you go into the depression, and it's all right, because you don't know how to tackle this. So I have ways, the Busha called this Betzim Gava. I have ways how it shouldn't control me. Either I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'll even say God and say what you want. Or, okay, I'm in bed, take me out now, let's see how strong you are. That means I feel a certain control. We've said a few times already, going to bed is even worse because it's much harder to take you out. Going into chaos, a person makes a accident and he still has a way to. That means it's just like going on a highway. You have an exit to go to Achnua. Every time that you feel that vulnerability, you have an exit, you can get to the Rבינו Shalom. But it's all question if you are focused on the highway that you should to get off of that exit. But if you, so from one way, Baruch lets you do things, gives you the courage to do things, and to talk and to think, and with the Superman. And from one second to the other second, I become vulnerable. And the whole derech is actually, how do I get the Rבינו Shalom? How did someone tell me, from when the guy gets me angry till I yell at him, where do you want this whole drusha to get in there? So the drusha says, you're right, but we have to expand some space between the happening to the instinct. So then, the more I give the demir, we should call it, I give the silence, then I can do work. Work is called, I understand that I missed out my vulnerability. Number 2, I understand that I must have help. Number 3, I also understand that what I was doing till now is also through the help of the Rבינו Shalom. As long as you don't go through these 3 stages, you're not going to expand the gap between when it happens till you answer back. So Bush said there are two measurements that if you want to measure. One measurement is how long does it take you from when it happens to you. The second measure is how long does it take you once you did fall down till you get up again. Sometimes a person that's not living in vulnerability and he thought he's Melech HaMashiach and suddenly he sees he can't do anything. So it takes a few weeks till you get back. But here, with this derech, a person is never, we should call it, תהיה בטוח שאתה לא בטוח. וממילא, once you see yourself לא בטוח, למעשה, then you got to בטוחם. But if when you're בטוח, you're going to see yourself that you're בטוח, and suddenly you see yourself not sure, till that starts working, the fight, flight, freeze mode goes in until you get that in. But if a person lives that sakuna all the time, that danger, so with the time he makes place, and he can get, what's the difference? Because the volume of the flame doesn't go up so fast. When is the volume? It's actually the haftarah, the surprise that I lose it. As I say, in the 7th of October, there was a surprise. Then it was 6 hours till someone got there. That means, but if I'm not in a surprise, so even though the Rosh says that is the way that I get to the Baruch Shem, there is no other way. Yitzchak Adam is Gabulav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Aa'zor, he should be able to get to the Baruch Shem and should be able to see Eina Yocholoi. But it's all question if you know this is part of the Mahalach, so you take it in a healthy way. But if a person doesn't know it's part of the Mahalach, every time it happens, it's nice, Gemara. I hope you go home, not tell it to your wife if you want, but the Gemara says, B'tzois Hashem darka ish. We always want to know, are we on the right path, are we not on the right path? Everyone says, sure, says I'm putting on tefillin every day, I'm davening, I'm kosher, I'm not doing the right thing. Okay, tashtram, what else do we have to do here? Says the Bush, no. The Gemara says, B'tzois Hashem darka ish, gam oivov yashlim. We have to see if his enemies are living good with him, if he's living good with them. Then, if you're going with the derech the Ribbono Shel Olam, there will always be enemies, but you won't be in stress from them. They won't be in stress from you. I go my way, you go my way. I respect you, you respect me. We go over. Says the Bush is his own problem with that. The Gemara says, which oivim are we talking about? Oiv Yashmich is the Ishtori. We're all ready to be nice people outside. But when it comes to the house, there I'm the boss. So if you want to know if you're on the right path, so you have to know what's happening at home. In Oiv Yashmich, because there is no, I'm not telling you if I have Koppelman. Koppelman says the Torah is so
goes into so much details.
Is that
One word goes into so much details.
You shouldn't take an ox and a donkey together. So the Balatirim says why? Because the ox is eating all the time. And the donkey is not eating, he's malagaya, and the donkey doesn't know that he's not getting food. But the donkey might think that the ox is getting food and he's not getting food. So don't put them together. So Torah is very sensitive. Torah is very sensitive. So Rav Koppelman, that was a Shiur L'Tzen, I once heard him say, so how come HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts together man and wife? There's nothing more sensitive. One man with another man is Batzafayim Shonis, they're same Shonis. Kolskim is a woman and a man, and the Chavada all together, something else. So the Torah is so sensitive. But the Maral explains that sensitivity brings you ish v'isha shulam b'naim can only be shchina shriya b'naim. But if there's no shchina, if you're going to think that you can do it on your own, that's when you're going to miss it. So usually we all get married with a Ruchel, in the morning we see ourselves with a Leah. Or he gets married with a Yisroel and sees him in the mornings with a Yankee. Everybody certainly is not what I was dreaming about. But again, this is to build my personality, to build my feelings, to build my vulnerability, to rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One of the hadruchas that the Rosh once gave to Chassan, to a young man, he told him, you remember Ata Kelev, Va'at Kalba. You're both dogs. You have to watch out. You shouldn't bite each other. And if you're not biting each other, you must be Shchina Shriya B'nayim. So that is actually the vulnerability of a person. That actually, sometimes a person has vulnerability in feelings. You say that about the Baditcha Roof. He was walking the street and he saw a person very disturbed running around back and forth. But that's so fast. What can I help you? I don't know. I lost my wallet. I lost my money. And it's a lot of money. And Bishop says he's all lost, and Bishop tells him, well, they found it already, don't worry. Come to me home, sit down, someone's going to come around with the money. So Bishop says he came out. He gave him food, sat him down, rested. So in the middle of the evening, he said, oh yeah, I remind myself. I went to daven mincha, I put it into behind it, some stunda there. He goes back and finds it. That means when a person goes into stress, he just shuts off himself from himself, and himself from himself. His emunah from himself, that can give him that space, the yishuv adas. But if he has everything, if he thinks he's not vulnerable, and suddenly something goes off, he even loses the koiches that he does have too. So we have to. So the emunah actually makes you more loftier, makes you. There is something behind that. There is it's not there is no understanding. There is an understanding, but I cannot get to that understanding. But Tanya even explains it when a person does this procedure, there is understanding. So he's actually making a keli to get new understanding. This is more in Kabul, and that means we have to go through this procedure, and this procedure doesn't stop. The Melech says, Ani avdechu ben amasechu, pitachtu lemosayai. The Piyuritz in Parshas Vayikra explains there are two types of servants. Servants that a king bought out in the shuk, in the market, and the servants that were born already 10 generations here and they don't know anything else. This servant was born here, he doesn't know, he ain't gonna run away, it's very good here, where should he go? But this servant that was a free man and suddenly you sold him for a servant, so we have to put chains and we have to put all kinds of, he shouldn't run away. The Melech told the Rebbe, don't worry about me. I'm with you already. Avdechu ben amasechu, we said today in the Chodesh. I'm just like an Eved, not an Eved akanui that you bought. I'm an Eved ben amasechu. Pitachtu lemesei, open up my chains. You say, you see a Chazal, these chains were never open. Even when he passed away, only till Shlomo HaMelech took the Otter B'Shavik, she wanted to open up the Zoch Chaz, they do it, they opened up the doors. Then everyone knew that Kosh Baruch was Malchut of HaMelech. But in that, he was still on the chains all the time, going through hardships. So as the Piyuritz, yes, we have to know, what does chains mean? Chains means when I am in a certain matzav of vulnerability, and my mind is not working, so I'm all tied up. I won't understand. I can't understand, but it's hurting me. So that's I'm tying a rope around my throat, around my mind. I just can't find myself. Pitachtu lemosayai, I'm ready to understand that it's you, Ribbono Shel Olam, that's giving me this vulnerability. You're giving the hardship in order that I should connect you, and I'm ready. I'm avdechu ben amasechu. I'm going in your direction. So open it up. So every stage that Kosh Baruch Hu opens up, there's the next stage. to the next stage, to the next stage. That means that the Rebbe is Ein Sof, and our connection to the Rebbe is Ein Sof. Which the Gemara calls Adam Litten Bekisoi, Bekoisoi, and Bekasoi. A person that never worked on himself, everything gets him kasoi, and every time he sees something, he has to eat it, and every time there's money, he gets lost. But the more you work on it, the more you work it out, so the temper goes down, the space becomes, you don't lose yourself, but it'll always be, that's the way you can connect to the Hashem. So every time when he came to that field that he's choking, he said, here, I know already what the Messiah is. The Messiah is, the ropes are here not to keep me from running away, but to connect you. Without those ropes, I would never connect you. I'm ready to connect you. I'm just like an Eved that was born here. He never runs away, so you can open it. So even the Rebbe opens it, in the next stage, we go through that again. So we come back to the Pasha that we started here. That everybody bought to the Smigdish whatever you have to bring, and suddenly everybody went out of there with a feeling that he didn't do enough, he could have done more, or as in this Pasha's Pekida, who knows, people need the money, you know how it goes, everyone has his loopholes where he loses it. So the Sfasem is, that is the Besamigdash. That because builds, that's the way you connect to the Rebbe. There is no other way that you connect to the Rebbe, only from the vulnerability. What happens when a person is in vulnerability? He goes into pachad, he goes into or a trigger pulls him and does stupid things. But this is all the emotions. The way HaKadosh Baruch Hu talks to us is through emotions, because the whole person is emotions. So when he's calm and sitting back, Shabbos noch in Kigel, they can talk about Hashem, but he's not there. But when is he real combat? When he has those emotions coming up, and he starts talking to a bunch of those emotions. I know it's you. I know you're giving it to me because you want me to connect you. But I also know I don't have the koiches to connect you. All you want me to do, to recognize it's you. Once I give that connection, that I recognize it's you, Nisham Yispor, and he'll take away, because by us it's bad and good, by him everything is good. He'll give you a new thought, he'll give you a new mahalach. There was always things, he'll work it out. But from you I give you things to do, but at the end of the day, I want you to know that I'm doing it. So when you meet that vulnerability, and you give it over to me, you mavich two things. Number one, you see your vulnerability. Number two, when you're not vulnerable and you think you can do things, you know that I'm the one that's giving to you, and you wouldn't be able to come to that without me. As Mail, that says this Fasemas, that's actually the building a mishkan. What do you build a mishkan for? You build a mishkan because the whole world here is so materialism, so a person thinks he understands and he does everything. In order to get to Rebbeinu Shalom, you have to come to Persi Yam, and you have to come to the stage of Persi. So you know what? I'll show you what I mean. Everybody should bring to the Besamigdash money. And it's they ask, usually when you make an appeal for money, so you think when people come into, you want to hear what's the Indian, and then you'll decide how much you give you. If someone's going into, I want you to give me this and this, what happened? I'm a bank. When he comes and asks about the Mishkan, you see in Trimu and also in Vayakel, the Huzua of Keser, take it easy, what do you need it for? And then he says, Wusli Migdash Shamti B'Sochim. Well, what? The question is, who's asking for it? Somebody on the street asking for it, or the Rebbeinu Shalom asking for it. I want to see how much are you ready to go with me without understanding what I want from you. That even though you don't understand, but you're believing, so then you open up your wallet, put it on the table, and says, Rebbeinu Shalom, take as much as you want. The Rebbeinu Shalom says, Kach is bil, is Kach, he'll give the Zohar, he'll give the Kes, he'll give the Nechoshes, without knowing what the reason you're giving it, because once you know what the reason is you're giving it, so you're not giving it to the Rebbe, you're giving it to yourself. Why not? We have a nice Besamigdash, we have a nice shul, I'll be able to find my seat, and then we'll put up a flag, whatever it is. Once I'm doing it, I don't know what I have to give it to. So that's the Torah says, that is the Mishkan. So again, every time those feelings come up, those feelings are there for a purpose. Those disturbances are there for a purpose. That stress is there for a purpose. What's the purpose? To see your vulnerability, that you have to come onto the Baruch, not only the things that you can't, even that's that is the way you can. Any questions?
It says that I happened to this week read the Rashi that Mishkan came as a sign that we're forgiven for the Chet Egel. So the Chet Egel, so before the Chet Egel we didn't have those questions. It was
that's what the Priot says.
Wow.
Just the opposite. Priot says that a second before they were in Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim means Mem Tesh Sharitim. They had no way to get out of there. Nobody can get out. A second later they were out. A week later, also Shiv Chalayom Ashliach Heskel. The nature of a person is he forgets altogether what was yesterday. And then had all kinds of happenings that we had. There was Pesel Michu, and there was the water and the mon, all kinds of problems. We had the Mulik. The Kushboch started a mahalach of giving the Torah. So he said, let's get over this. There's still one thing that I have to get them straight. It's not you that get out of there. So if you forget, I have to put you back in Mitzrayim. So make the ayin gimel lamed. They didn't have to get to that. We have to be all the time in a matzah of tshiva. What is a matzah of tshiva? I'm doing things. Naturally, I think that I'm the one that's doing it, and I have to force myself to know that I'm very vulnerable. But I don't volunteer for that. So Kushboch is helping me through the ayin gimel lamed, as the Bichur says. So then Ribbono Shel Olam shows that I'm not busy. I won't be busy with that you felt. All I want you, the Bichur says, charuta is not called when a person has regrets. Why did I do it? He's regretting. Why wasn't I living my danger? And I lost it when it happened. So I had to call upon you. But now, after the Chetu Egel, the Pogdi Pekality, it's in our system that you remember very good that you're not Nasa V'nishma, you're not. That's all that I gave you this koyach, which that actually happens here by Purim. The Balatani has a very special mahalach when it comes to Kuf Aleim HaKegigas. Usually you learn Kuf Aleim HaKegigas. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took a big stone on the head, and he says no. Kuf Aleim HaKegigas. He says that is. He says HaKegigas is just like you hug a person. Because Baruch Hu Merov Ahavu, the Klal Yisrael, he gave them slav, he gave them mon, he gave them water, he gave them everything. Moshe, the best accommodation that can be. Don't have to change, don't have to do anything. So it was such a havel. When he asked, "You want to take the Torah?" I'm going to say, "No, I'm out here in the midbar. I'm just after." So we said yes. Well, then once things start cooling down, so that's Rabbi says. So we'll always have a good teretz. Why we're not behaving? Because we were forced to it. We're not forced through harshness. We were forced to it through ahavu. But here by the Achashverosh was lahashmed, laharek, laabed. So we knew we have nowhere to run, but we didn't lose it, and we just used it for connecting. That's a Kabbalah Torah that we really understood it from our vulnerability. So that is Yomei appear ve'ele lo yarim b'toch hayidim. Why? Because Moshe says the whole difference between today And lucid over is, today we need das. We have to make this accounting. Every time I lose it, I have to stop. I have to understand. My guy is working now. I think I can do it on my own. I have to decide I need to learn them. And then I have to conclude that not only I need him for what I cannot do, but even what I can do. So it's a whole procedure, and sometimes it can take 12 minutes, 12 days, and 12 years. This is, and learning time never ends. Also, the clipper won't be there, which is hiding you, that you're not seeing me. Then the clipper won't be there. So automatically, you see automatically that even when you're vulnerable, it's coming to help you, so you don't need that whole accounting and go much faster. The talach.
We touched a little bit about talking to the Eibishters, the whole unsettled that came out this week. We should publish. We wrote up how the Rebbe, not in the Kiddush Shalom, the other one, it was written that you should only read it in the Shalom. But I touched on it a little bit now.
The Kiddush Shalom, the Kiddush Shalom, called it something else this week.
Yeah.
Put up, it's only for under 18, over 18 or something like that, over 21. So that means I must go through, I must work out those emotions. What?
He was asking what it was.
Yeah, sure. Every week.
Get onto the emails.
Suchi is interpreting it in English.
Translates.
But usually when it comes out such a thing, he doesn't like to interpret it. So maybe we'll ask you to do it.
I haven't read that one yet.
I
can get it till after Shabbos.
There's another one that I'll send you. There's another one that didn't interpret.
Okay.
When it comes touching these emotional things, he says, I have to skip it.
Okay, those are the ones I like.
I know that, but I can't. Usually I get some cancellations from my people get off my list once goes outside.
Subscribe.
And I try to corner things. A lot of things that are bush, I made a whole file of things that I'm not putting up. Because I know that people get disturbed.
That's how the Rebbe can know it was a good one if you get the unsubscribes.
That's I know. So I try to. I'm not facing. I'm not harm myself, as we say.
So the concept was, most of it that I do understand is like that both are true. Like we have to go through our emotions and our towers and our challenges at the same time, like be with the Eibishter at the same time. Like
there is no way. That's what there is no way that I can get to the connection. Just like we have today, the army is throwing down, but you don't go into that you ain't gonna get them out there. They're sitting there and having fun there. Which is said, gefährliche Sache, I hope to go through and that people won't cancel it. Which is said, the Yitzhahara is fighting with you all along. Anyone knows that all these people that make Ponzi schemes, they take money, schemes, how do you call it? Ponzi scheme. So usually it works, it doesn't work, then they have a 10-year space, then they go back to the same people again, because they know the weak people, they know exactly what the weakness is. And this time it's going to just change the concept, but usually they go back to the people that the statistic shows. The Yitzhak is also that same way. He came with the same story yesterday. It doesn't wait 10 years, he comes tomorrow to that same story again. Says the last time he'll come when a person has to go away from the world. It's all will tell him, person sees it, that's it, he's going away. So he says, Beat, I can get you out of this. But decide there's no Ribbono Shel Olam. And then I can get out of this. So till the last minute, he still keeps on trying. So Bush said that by Kiva was Yatsin Ishmusa Be'echad. He was, as we said before, how could it be Masreika Shel Basel, and he doesn't even feel it, and he's even asking for more. So the question is, if the stress is coming to bang me down, my shiftless, so I don't think so much about it. Let's find another bigger tzaddik than I am. But if I know that the stress actually comes to connect me, which Shabakir was 40 years, was busy blaming all the time, blaming his wife, blaming his shver, blaming his magashim, blaming everybody. I said if he would only be 39 years in that he attended Tmכו, he wouldn't become the Bakir. He had to be 40 years busy with this, and once he chapped the mahalach that nobody's to blame, and it's all the Moshe that wants you to connect. And Moshe said it, and it only couldn't happen through Talmidei Chacham. The Chacham says there's all this Magad Shiurim that he had, all the people that gave him the education. So he chapped it only by Avunim Shachar Kimayim, that the water was making a hole, dripping and making a hole. So again, I'm busy that this Talmid Chacham took away my opportunity. Just as I said before, Vel was taking my place. So, but as long as there's somebody here with a Baal Bechira, I can blame him. But water, or a stone, there's no Baal Bechira here. We say the water is the problem, the stone is the problem. There's somebody here that puts that dripping right here. So then he copied it to, it's much more higher when I take it into the emotions. I'm much more connected just from a stone that doesn't bring me any emotions up. So from there, he understood every time this emotion comes up, even if it's Masreika Shel Basel, why waste my time on my body that's hurting when I can connect myself in that minute? So Moshe said, so when did it stop? Suddenly the Yitzhak came and told him, you know what's going to happen? What? Till Mashiach will come, every Yom Kippur, they will be talking about you, that you're going to see a sneifish, every Tisha B'Av, everything, the whole V'ahavta L'Chamecha, every Yid, every Chayd will be busy with you. You're going to be so famous. So he tells the Bonshim, take me away before I believe him. Then was Yotzin Shmusabech. Al Tamen Ba'atzmucha Adem Ma'esku.
Rebbe also said that he came as like how major you are, that you're dying al Kish Hashem, and the king said, no, I'm just starting.
Yeah, it's the same now. Okay, I don't remember. Anyways, this is the dvekus. This back and forth feelings with yourself, with others, with places, time, where you feel you're losing it, there is a chance of dvekus. There's no other place that I can.
And what the steps are, first of all, to realize.
The Rusha calls it three things: lechu, demio, tehelu. Demio, that means he says it's called meditate. It's called demio, but not demio that you're busy with some flower. Demio is a procedure. Procedure is you're right now disturbed because you're in a stage of ani. You're sure that you can do everything, and suddenly you see how vulnerable you are. So that demio takes you out of the ani to lechu. Lechu Hashem agdilu agvir at first netzavah. So then I see that I need a Rebbeinu Shalom. Then comes the tehillu. Tehillu is that not only I need you for my weak spots, even for my strong spots, I see that I cannot do it without you. That is the biggest tehillu that a person can give to the Rebbeinu Shalom through that demio. Why? Because I don't understand how it works, but I believe. But as long as I try to understand, it's not such a tehillu. As I said before, when Kosh Baruch says, give me money, and you give him money, then you give him because you believe in, not because you understand. But if you want to understand, tell me first what you need it from. We'll set up a committee and we'll see. This week we're a little bit tight, but come in a half a year from now. Yeah, you know these things. Yeah, not available.
The board didn't approve.
Call me in a half year.
Hashem doesn't even give me the koiches to go into to sit and meditate. And I know I'm in stress, and I know I'm choking myself.
Yeah, but it's
I'll do it for
meditate.
6 weeks before I could pretend to take 3 minutes to breathe. What is he like? Then
Once you lose,
meditate, but
I just say the Sfasemis calls it bitiloi zehi kiyimoi. Sometimes we find the Kosh Baruch Hu tells we should build a mishkan. So start working day and night, 24/7. Why stopping on Shabbos? I don't need buildings. I need Rachmuna Liverboya. So when it comes on Shabbos, you're so nervous. I have to finish off every day. Someone tells me I have 80 shekels every day at work. I lose that Friday and Shabbos. But it's not to lose it Friday and Shabbos, it's actually to understand that in the other 5 days that you're working, there's someone that's giving it to you. So the Shabbos actually is giving you the koyach to connect to Rebbe Shalom. Because both make 6 days work, but you have to see the Rebbe Shalom helping you. But somewhere you lose it after 6 days. So we give you a day off, and that day off, if you were looking all the 6 days looking for the Rebbe Shalom, so the 7th day is Yom because you can lift yourself up spiritually. But if a person was only busy with the physicality all week and never did any work spiritual, it's a chunas when it comes to Shabbos. Because once he finishes the newspapers and the pitzuchim, as they call it, he's lost. Shalom Alach. Any questions, Menachem?
I don't know. I just came.
So we all don't know. That's the tachlis that we're trying to get. As long as you don't know, you're in a good spot. Once you think you know, then that's when the trouble starts.
Is there a shortcut?
No shortcuts. That's the problem. Busha says in the physicality world, we're looking how to do shortcuts to make it. B'makah. Busha says in spirituality, it's a step by step. I take one step, another step. Take one step, another step, and another step. It doesn't go fast. How do you the Esed Tfuchim is one tefach, another tefach, another tefach. There's not only it's tefach, it's a busha called it's hoiva. And hoiva keheref ayin, and by the time you say the word hoiva, the heref ayin went through already. So all that's left for you to focus yourself on the direction that you want to go. Any questions?
We usually, when we blame the Siva, to dump our pain on the Siva. And then with a little practice with the derech, we get better at that. So instead of dumping our pain all the time, we start to hold our pain. That the Siva just came to be more, so I can see my pain on the inside.
To change it from Messias to Siva.
Then how do we get the next step? Because if we get a little better at that, the pain on the inside starts to really build. And if we want to dump it, how do you start to deal with it? It seems like the better you get at this, the worse it gets, because it starts to build up the pain on the inside. Then what?
You get into your reality. The true reality is that you're sure that you're not sure. So as long as it was a play that I said, okay, Hashem, that this is a famous joke that Sunday a guy didn't find any space to park. He said, I'm giving 18 shekels, and somebody found a park, and some guy said, I was joking. And it's as long as you're joking, so you're trying to manipulate. And the Baruch Hashem lets you do that too. But when it comes to serious business, you have to decide. The Piyutz calls it, there's 2 stages to it. In the beginning, it's called Yisir Bit Kedemisa. You'd rather don't help me and don't bother me and just go help somebody else and get off of my back. So I want this saga to finish. But the second stage is that actually we with Yiras Hashem L'chaim, that's called. That actually I see I have a way to connect to my source, which I wouldn't connect to my source if I wouldn't have this hardship. So every time there is a hardship, the pain is not the hardship giving me the pain. It's my resistance that I want to let go. That I feel I have to let go, and toile eretz al blima. It was just to call it. It's just like a person is. If you take a look at outer space and the earth is out there, and just any second could fall down. So we hope suddenly we have that feeling every second we fall down. The question is, what are you going to do with it? So the more you understand that you're helpless, you must right away connect that Shulam is Melech Shashulam Shaloi. Even when I have the Shalem, is also not mine, it's his. So then it gives me courage to go to the next step. But if I don't build my blocks, and I only just say, it's okay. Don't worry, I didn't forget you, but you're not working on the other half to get him in all spaces. You don't have the blocks to build yourselves. So that's why I say it's a three-stage meditation, we call that. Number 1, You have to know the meal, recognize your vulnerability, because the whole problem of the pain is what I did till now was ani. So that once you have that, I can change my course of thinking from ani to lechu, the Busha calls it. It's called lechu demiyu. The demiyu takes you out of the ani to the lechu. Then you come back that actually what I thought I can do is also not me. So then it's the biggest tehillah that a Kosh Baruch Hu can have.
The Nia has 2 steps. That it's
Three
first
steps.
Has to, the
First step
part.
is to get out of the ani. Without the demiyu, if a person is not in the meal, he cannot be lechu, says the Busha. There is no lechu without the meal. And there's no meal, there is no lechu. So in order to get to the matzah of lechu, we must decide that we have to go into the meal. The meal means my helplessness, my vulnerability. Then I get rid of the ani, but there is someone here. Who is it? So we just call it the Rbinos Shalom. Or call it whatever you want. That's what you say.
The vulnerability is first you have to have the space, like the story of the Braditcher. You have to have a little
That's
bit
when
of
you make the
space.
space into the meal. You make the space. So
That's you start with
so
the meal, that's the
the
second part.
Braditcher gave him a shortcut. Rebbe says it's going to be there, so people get quiet.
Yeah.
Well, most people that call me, I give a bucha, but I know the truth. They're just believing. Once they're believing, they get and things sort out. Once I ask the bucha, what's going to be now? People can start coming to me, and I'll think that I'm the big miracle pill. Says, don't worry, just keep on asking why people are coming. It's okay. The problem will start when you won't understand why people are not coming. That's when the problem starts. But if you don't understand why people are coming, it's okay.
What term did Rav Asher use for vulnerability? How did he talk about it?
Helplessness, chasar onim, afshiras. He called it enosh. That's the truth.
Called it enosh?
Enosh, if you notice in the whole sefer, there's the word enosh. Mu enosh kisiskereni, toshav enosh adakum. When is a person? What does enosh mean? Enosh is set together from 2 words, ani and yesh. The ani is anoich Hashem alekechu, but a person thinks the yesh is the ani. So he takes from the anoich Hashem alekechu, he makes from that an enosh. But in the Ivrit, in Hebrew, enosh is also matzav anush. I see myself helpless. So then the helplessness actually is what's helping me get to the Rbinos Shalom. Moshe Rabbeinu says he went up to Shemayim and he wanted to take the Torah. We'll call him. Suddenly all the Malachim started screaming, more enosh kisiskereni. You're keeping the Torah here for them? You know what, who you're giving it to? That's going to be terrible down there. So the Rbinos Shalom says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Achoiz b'kisei kvoidi, hold on to my Renknoten, is that my throne? And answer them. So what did he answer them? Klim yashetza hora b'neichem, klim l'signor. Well, that was their question. How about some you're going to give it down here? We're here. It's everything is clean, sterile. You're setting it down there. There's a lot of garbage down there. So what was the answer? That was their question. Says the Rosh, no. Show them that you have an opportunity to say that you're the one that's doing it. But once you're living every second, which is forcing you not to take it. You say you have any other chance? A malach doesn't think that he's doing it. It's clear by him, but we have a Yitzhak that's trying to tell us that we are doing it. And Kosh Baruch is giving us all these nisyonis to see. In other words, Memele Achoiz Bekise Kvod is much more stronger, much more visible by us, that we have a chance to take it myself, and we don't take it, so we're turning over even the Yitzhak to Yitzhak too. And Rosh says it's not the Yitzhak that's helping you. It's that you see that the Yitzhak is coming to help you do things, so you turned over the Yitzhak to the Yitzhak. But the Yitzhak is the one that's helping you all along. I don't like that.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Say the Cultive.
Okay, that's it.
Let's do this.
Oh, very good.